Most of us have enjoyed honey at some point or time or another in our lives. The sweet, delectable alternative to refined sugar. As a matter of fact, honey is a natural sweetener, and it comes also with medicinal benefits, antioxidants, and so forth. And honey, actual honey, 100% raw honey, never goes bad. It doesn't spoil. It lasts forever. But buyers and consumers, beware. There are counterfeits lurking in your local supermarket that purport to be honey, but in fact they are imposters. And these artificial representatives of honey are not healthy for you. Why is that you might say, brother teacher? Well, because honey is very expensive, real honey. And it is very difficult and very tedious for one bee to produce enough honey, or even several bees to produce enough honey to make just even one container of 68 ounces. 6 to 8 ounces. Let me clarify that. So, what is the stuff that we're seeing on our grocery shelves that bears the appearance of honey, color, possibly the consistency on some level? What's really going on? So let me say this first of all. Did you not know that in Europe, at least 60% of the ingredients in anything that's labeled as honey has to be honey? At least 60% of a honey product has to be honey, and 5% sucrose or syrup for it to be eligible or counted as being actual honey. 60% of the product has to be honey. For the most part in Europe, 100% of their honey products are actually honey, real honey. And according to the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, here in America, they say that in order for it to qualify as honey, or anything to be qualified as honey, that it has to contain bee pollen. European brands do, but the vast majority of the honey products sold on our grocery shelves in America don't contain bee pollen. So what do they contain, brother teacher? Can you say artificial flavoring and high fructose corn syrup and coloring? That's the honey that we have on our shelves for the most part. Unless you go to a whole food store or a health food store, you may get the real thing. Or if you go to an organic section of your grocery store, you'll get the real thing, hopefully. But you have to do your own research. Another thing about honey too is with Americans and the way American people think, like we like things convenient, easy, quick, without any hassle. Did you not know that honey crystallizes? Look at this. This is real honey. It's raw. Upside down, it doesn't move. It moves very, 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 very slow. This is the ideal trait. This is the typical trait of real, organic, 100% honey. At a certain temperature, it will begin to move. Okay? The honey that you see in the bottles, especially the ones shaped like a little teddy bear in your grocery stores, as soon as you turn it upside down, it begins to come out just like syrup. That's not typical of honey. Why? It's not honey. And it does not crystallize in the proper temperature. You see, if it's room temperature, it will get a little soft. If you heat it up a little bit more, around 70 degrees, it comes out okay. Anything colder than that, it crystallizes like the one I just showed you. So, how do you know that the honey that you're buying on the shelf in the grocery store is real honey? It's not going to flow that easily. That's number one. For the most part, when you see it in the temperature that you see in the grocery stores, typically, it's going to be crystallized. Most people, again, don't like crystallized honey because they think it's spoiled or something's wrong with it, when it's actually not. It's because they don't do their homework. They don't study the world in which they live. We don't study the world in which we live. That's nature. That's honey. That's a characteristic of honey. So, what are you going to do about it? Do you want real honey that provides not only the ability to sweeten certain foods that you eat naturally, and it also comes with a medicinal benefit? Do you want that? Or do you want the high fructose corn syrup, which causes cancer, which causes diabetes when you continue to consume it on a regular basis? And the artificial flavors, let's not mention that, and the artificial colorings. Anything that's artificial that you're putting in your body, listen to what I just said. Artificial means, guess what? It's not real. It's not the real thing. It's not the real deal. So, if you want the real honey, do your research, find out where it came from, what's its origin, and is it crystallized? Does it have the capacity to crystallize? Or is it just as easy as turning the bottle upside down and it just flows out? That's the one you need to be aware of. This is Brother Teacher. If you have any further questions, you know what to do. So long.